record the session so that anyone who couldn't stay the whole time or dropped in, came late or couldn't come at all, can see the session if they wanted to. I know, it's all of us are busy. Most of us are working. It's not always possible to make yourself available for a class. That's not what we expect, but we do expect you to use the information that is available to you, even if it's afterwards in the form of watching a recording of a session. All right, now this is the module team for the year. I am Louise van Dijk. I'm the module coordinator, and this is my favorite module in the entire department. But you'll be dealing with me in terms of like general stuff, administrative stuff, and overall I'm the main contact person for the module. Although my two colleagues, now I'm not sure who is in the session, but Professor Ndvonitswani Aron Tizumba and Dr. Queen Mabusela Munyai. Colleagues, if you are here, let me just stop sharing. If you are here and want to say hello, please do so. I told my colleagues that they are welcome, but they don't have to be here because it's basically holiday here at UNISA. It's dead quiet. If one of you are here, I saw Dr. Mabusela Munyai earlier. I don't see Prof. Zumba. Doc, if you want to say hi.
Yes, Prof. Justin.
No,
Dr.
right.
Justin,
she might not
I wanted
later.
to put on my camera.
I saw her in the session earlier, but you can see her face on the screen. And those are our email addresses. Also there, I mean, you can find them in my UNISA. You don't have to note them from here. But I want to say something quickly about contacting us. Comes on that screen. You are free to contact us with module related questions or feedback. It's best to contact us via email. There's this, we have multiple ways of keeping contact. Like we have the soft phones on Teams. If you phone my office line, it will come through on my Teams. But there's sometimes technical issues with if you phone from a telephone line into the system that we use here. So then sometimes it's technically not the nicest thing to do is to talk telephonically, unless you're calling from the Teams app. That is that is a much better way to like eliminate the technical issues. But then again, we are not always with our laptops open. We don't all use our private phones for UNISA Teams contact. So emailing is best, and that way, especially if it's about official stuff, official conversation, like something that we need to keep a record of. If it's maybe about querying assignment marks or providing a doctor's note or something like that. If we have it all on email, the whole conversation, then there is a track record of what was said to who. And I also can show you just for a little, there's also the option to contact us on my UNISA, but I want to show you what it looks like on my side. Why this chat function here, that many of you also use that to talk to one another or to send me a message or any one of your lecturers. Now it might be different from person to person, but for me personally, let me just go to my normal role and you can see my profile. This is the modules. This is the number of modules I'm linked to, so whose chats I am linked to. So I get lost in that chat personally. Let me go back to the student view, otherwise we see the back end of it. Let's go back to the presentation rather. So for me personally, email is much better. If you contact me on that chat, the chances of me missing it is much greater than the chances of me getting it, because I am getting all the chats from all those modules that I am playing a role in some kind of way, but I'm not supposed to answer them. So then I have to go through a lot of unnecessary messages if I want to see somebody who's actually looking for me. So for me, please contact me via email if you want to make sure you are reaching me, but the other lines are available to you as well. So if you struggle to reach me via email, my colleagues are there, and there's various ways of talking to us. Okay, then let's move on to today's session. Now, today I want to just take you quickly through the module, what it's about, and how we're going to work this year. We will cover things like the module structure and assignments, the module site and study material, and like four important topics that I want you to know from the start. It's not brand new information, but it's our house. I call them house rules. So it's my personal preferences for how we deal with certain things. Then some info on the library, Turnitin AI, and academic integrity issues, and then a little bit about technical presentation. All right, so the module structure. Sorry, I see someone in the chat. I have to close here to see what you are saying in the chat. Yes, the recording is on. Can you see it on your screens? COM4806 that we are recording. On my side, it looks like we're recording. So yes, it will be uploaded and shared on my modules. And I will also, okay, perfect. Thank you for the reaction. I will share the session on my UNISA and also via the YouTube link. So then you should have two ways of accessing the recording of the session. So don't worry if you can't stay the whole time or whatever. You can also share the news with your fellow classmates. All right. So the module, we have 3 assessments for the module, 2 formative. We call those assignments, and 1 summative. We call that the examination portfolio, although they are technically, all 3 of them are called assignments on UNISA side. So don't get confused if you see assignment 3 is the examination portfolio. It is just a technical matter of how we differentiate between sit-down examinations and like hand-in examinations like the one we use. So assignment 1 is about research foundations. You have hopefully already seen this assignment because that one is available to you already. I would say it's the most difficult one of all 3. It is due on the 26th of May. So luckily you have some time to get yourself going. From the beginning of April until the end of May is quite a long time to get yourself organized and complete your assignment 1. Then only in August is assignment 2. If you are registered for more than 1 honors module, I guess most of you are, you will see that most of them have more than 2 assignments. We are a little bit a smaller module in terms of credit, so we only have 2 assignments and then the exam. So then assignment 2 is only due on the 26th of August, and then we have the exam on the 15th of January next year. And remember, from the start, if you have been a UNISA student in the past, you would know that we used to have supplementaries or special examinations or aggregates or something like that. We have no second opportunities whatsoever anymore. So if you fail the exam portfolio, or if you fail the module, doesn't matter if it's a 45% or a 40% or whatever, there's no supplementary, there's no second opportunities anymore. So you only get one shot at the examination portfolio. Then the assessment details, I just want to, it's the easiest for me to do it like this. It looks a little bit like child math, and it is because I'm not a mathematician, but this is the best way I can describe it. In the first place, before we get to the math, you must submit either of the two assignments to get examination admission. So you don't have to submit both in order to be allowed to write the examination. Or hand in an examination portfolio, but both of them will count. So if you only hand in assignment 1 and not assignment 2, you will lose out on a lot of marks for your year mark, but you will get access to the examination. So if you understand that difference, both of them count, but you need only one for admission. Then the two assignments together count 30%. That's the year mark is 30% of the total final mark, and then your examination portfolio counts for 70% of your final mark. Now in the little block there, so whatever your mark out of 100 is, that is then calculated to become a mark out of 15%, because the two assignments have equal weighting in terms of the year mark. Assignment 2, we are not sure whether the total is going to be 50 or 100 yet. We are just finalizing the last little bits, and that's still undecided. But whatever your mark is out of 50 or 100 will become a mark out of 15. Then those two 15s counted together get you to a mark out of 30. That is your year mark portion of the final mark. And then your examination portfolio counts out of 100 marks, and if we calculate that out of to make it a mark out of 70, and then that 70 plus the 30 becomes your final mark for the module. So sorry if that is silly, but I know for some people it isn't as silly, because sometimes I get inquiries about people not completely sure how the marks are calculated. And there you have it now. All right. Now, the module site and study material is up next. Now, you have hopefully all seen the module site. I will put it up on the screen quickly again. Let me just figure out how to do that. And have... Oh, no, I can't show them both. The module site, I'll go to that now. Just want to talk through it first. That is the home base of COM4806. That is where all the relevant information for the module will become available or will be announced on. I realized a little bit late that I made an announcement and I told you that the work plan for the year is available, and then somebody alerted me that I haven't opened or they can't access the work plan. It says it's not available, and it was a technical error on my side. I kept it in a hidden mode instead of releasing it when I intended to. So you had a little bit late access to the work plan, but I'll show it to you now. You have access to it. So if you haven't seen it before, you can start keeping an eye on it now. But in terms of study material, I don't know. Now these two things look like they are switched up the headings. There's no prescribed book for COM4806. There's no study guide, and there's no e-reserves. Normally we have e-reserves. This year we do not. We only have a list of recommended books. And those books are, most of them are available as e-books on the library website. So it's not books that you have to go to a physical library to get, although there should be plenty of physical books for them as well, depending on how they are how they are kept by the library. I'm not sure exactly what they do, for instance, with older editions or with something that they have an ebook for, whether they also have a physical copy anymore. But most of them are chosen specifically because they are available in full text from the library website, so that you don't have to go through much trouble to get access to them. Then there's also a set of what I call video tutorials. I'll show them to you also now on the module site. They are like little content classes. Especially important, I'd say, is for assignment 1 is watching the first 2 tutorial videos, because they are about research philosophy and these paradigms that that a lot of the difficult content of assignment 1 is about. And then there's additional resources that will be added to the module site as we go along, and as the year progresses, the additional resources will be added. There's a specific additional resources folder per assignment, and then there is a general one for general module resources. Then we also will do contact classes. This is the first one, but the next one you'll see us for is for assignment 1. That will be like a formal class where we do the assignment 1 assignment prep, and then there's usually a Q&A type of class just before an assignment is due, so that you can come with your questions if you have any. So that is usually like two formal sessions per assignment that you can bargain on. That's going to happen. There might be informal classes in between that are we can, I don't know if we can even call the formal classes obligatory, because you can watch them as a recording, but they count as additional resources for an assignment. In my mind, I believe it's information you need access to and that you have been given access to via this formal class, when informal session is optional. And we normally decide on those also as the year progresses. If we see there's a snag somewhere, that like there's a topic that many people are struggling with, or there's something that is unclear in a marking guide or something, and there's something we want to discuss just shortly, there might be an informal session scheduled, but they will become scheduled if and when we need them. All right, and then also on your assignments, you will get personal feedback by your marker on your assignment itself, and then they will also become, after we finish the marking, there will be a general feedback document available. So if you did particularly poorly in assignment 1, that you can't really use much of your own assignment to build forth on, because there is some progression between the assignments. Like you kind of need what you learned in assignment 1 a little bit when you do assignment 2, and then again the same, you need assignment 1 and 2's background to have the best chance at the exam portfolio. So then that general feedback document is basically if you didn't do the assignment, or if you did poorly to the extent where your own assignment feels like it's not worth much to build forth on, or if you did something wrong technically, or used AI writing, or for some reason gotten a 0 and you can't use your own work, basically that will be like the memorandum. It's not a memorandum, but it is what you could have done for assignment 1. So then if you're missing out an assignment, you use that general feedback as kind of the placeholder for your assignment 1. But even if you have your personal feedback and you did pretty well, that assignment feedback becomes an important resource to you when you move on to the next assignment. So the feedback will only be available after we mark, because we also include feedback on the how it went with the class. It's not only on the content, it's also like, we see many of you did this and this, we see many of you went wrong here, like tailor-made general feedback. Let me just show you the module site. Those couple of places I wanted to show you. All right, so this thing should link you to the most important things. You can at the moment only see assignment 1. We are going to make the assignments available as we progress. You have them way in advance of the deadline, don't worry. But what we do is the module is live and we are updating and changing assignments as we go. And therefore, like assignment 2, when you heard me say we are not totally sure whether it will be a total out of 50 or 100, it is because we are still refining changes based on what we learned last year and so on. So you can see assignment 1, assignment 2 and 3 will become available to you as the year goes on. I've been speaking about the work plan. Now there you can see a link to it, but if you use this sidebar, it is here under general module information. And if you go down to there, you will see the work plan. Now, if I click on that, you'll see a PDF document. Now, that document is the most recent one. It's marked April. That is the current one, but that document will change monthly. So if you have an April one and it becomes May, or you get an announcement that there's an update available, there will be a new PDF there. I'll open it also to show you what it looks like. Basically, I don't know if you're following on mobile, this is going to be difficult to see, but this is a kind of a guide to what you should be doing at a certain time, or what we recommend you doing, and then like the dates, the dates and times and the links for the important formal classes as we schedule them. So now this is today's session, right? And then already confirmed is April 21st is the live assignment 1 preparation class. That is when I hope to see you again, and the link is already there because the class has been finalized and is confirmed for that date. Then that is the list of resources that should be available to you during April, and that is like a recommendation of what we believe you should be doing during April. So this is kind of this is more generic type of information, but if you want to plan your year, you can use this to plan it out ahead. Then you will see May looks like this. These still say to be confirmed. So the next update that you will get of this work plan will have those sessions, for instance, confirm the dates, confirm the times, and the link will become available. So the whole work plan is set up, but the specifics are not yet worked out for specific things to happen. I will update them as we go along, and then every month there'll be a more complete version of the work plan. So if you are somehow missed an announcement, or you don't use the calendar or whatever, this document will have the links to all our formal classes, but like before they take place. Then come on, now this thing is in my way. All right, then let's go back to the home page. Then I talked about the video tutorials. They are also there under general module information. There's an embedded, you'll see my little face on all of them. And you can see it's not that they are that old. They are a couple of years old, but I just stopped coloring my hair in the meanwhile. So it looks like it's a much younger me, but it's not that much younger. Tutorial 1 and 2, what you see here is the embedded YouTube files, but it's also available as a download from Google Drive if you want to download it, but it's usually not worth it, I'd say, to have to make space on a hard drive somewhere for a video class like this, if it's available whenever you are online, so you don't have to keep it, but you can. And all of them have been pre-made. They've been made a number of years ago. I think they are from 2022. So they're a couple of years old, but they are on the important topics that we cover in the module. So these are not, there are additional resources. They're not, you don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but they usually help, especially here at the beginning when it's abstract information about the philosophical part. It's sometimes just easier to hear it explained instead of just reading about it. All right, then there's other general resources for the module. So if there is something, what I did here is I put the tutorial letter 101 and 301 there, because at some point at the beginning of the year, it seemed like some people had access issues with the tutorial letter. So I just put them there for in case you can't find them, because they under official study material officially, but they are there too for in case there's something not working with that tab. All right, and then you have assignment 1. So for assignment 1, that is the submission portal. It will take you to the place where you will submit your assignment. This is assignment 1, the task given to you on screen, the learning objectives and so and so you can page through it. This is the assignment instructions, and what you should do, and all the tasks are there as you page through. Then for the assignment 1 specifically, there's a list of additional resources. That's why I said there's the general additional resources, and then there's assignment specific ones. Because for this one, there are some, Chalisa's textbook is one of your books that are recommended to you, but it is an important book to my mind, but sometimes I struggle to access it via the library's website, and I wasn't completely sure whether you are going to struggle as well. And you need at least chapter 1, because she is one of the foremost people writing about research methodology, but from an Afrocentric decolonial perspective. So you need her as a resource. So that's not what I'm doing there is unofficial. I'll probably get in trouble copyright wise, but the fact is the book should be available to you via the library. I have just uploaded these in case you struggle to get it there. Then there is assignment 1 for download. So there's the one that's on the actual module site, but the very same thing you can download and have in a PDF. We can open that to show. So that's the assignment. You can save that if you don't want to read that page per page thing online. So and then here will become available the presentation slides for today, like the general feedback document. Not from today, from the assignment 1 prep class will be added to this list like as things happen. But this is where you look for specific things. And then formal classes, this is the ones I think are important, like there's today. Oh no, that's the next one. No, it's because this is the first, right? I can't see today's. No, I'm used to viewing my own one, but at least your next class is available to you there already and linked. So that's also a way to see what formal class link or what the time is. As it gets confirmed, I will put it under that formal class tab so that you can see it. All right, I think that is enough. Let's go back. I think I am losing some time here. All right, then how we work in the module, I think I've said all of this. Oh no, the formal classes, we chose Tuesdays at 1 o'clock as a general time that we hope to schedule all our formal classes on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Of course, we can't promise it up ahead of time, but that is our intention, is as most of the classes we will try and make in this time slot. We do this because we work on multiple modules. You are taking multiple modules. So if there's somebody else, another honors module that you are on, that is also booking a slot on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, please let me know, because then either me or the other module will change the time so that you have the opportunity to attend all the classes you need to, if you want to do it live. So that is why I say it. If you do see a clash of schedules coming, and sometimes something will happen, like a colleague will be on leave, or a Tuesday might be a holiday or something, and we can't do it then, but that's the intention. And then the rest I've said already, formal and informal classes as we need them, and the work plan, monitor the work plans changes through the year, please. Then the 4 important things I want to get to today. Now, let me just check the time. Yeah, we still have some time to talk about them. I want to talk about our house rules, especially house rules for assignment submissions. I want to talk a bit about the library. I want to talk about Turnitin and academic integrity, and then a little bit about technical presentation. That I think is important to know before the time. Now, the house rules, these are about submission of assignments. In the first place, in this module, we keep to our due dates. It is our a general accepted rule that the due date is the due date. So it's not easy for you or for me if you miss the assignment due date. So we are serious about those dates. Please keep to them. Then for your written assignments, which is all of them, you have some opportunity to submit and resubmit so that you can see your draft, Turnitin report from a draft. But you must do that before the deadline, because doing that on the day of the deadline, then you must submit twice or make changes, or then you're in a scramble. But you have that you can resubmit, or you can change your submission, I think 3 times before the due date. So if you want to make sure that your Turnitin report is fine, just submit the document and see that Turnitin can see your assignment, that you've submitted the correct file, and so on. So do that before, well before the due date, if you want to not have a scramble on the day. Then you must submit your final assignment or assessment, that's the exam portfolio, and the assignments too, but it's more important for the exam. But there's also a specific time that is set. I think ours are set at the moment 8 o'clock at night, and that is not us necessarily. That is to regulate the traffic that is coming on the UNISA server, so that if there's an enormous module that everybody's having to submit on time, then everybody slow down, or the system slows down and you struggle to submit. So they kind of make us stagger the time. So just make sure of the time, that if you have until 8 o'clock, you don't have until midnight. So just check those times. It's especially important for the examination, because for the examination, there is no flexibility in terms of accepting a late assignment because of misunderstanding or something. But it is generally important. But I think it's 8 o'clock. But check for every assignment, please. Then if you've been an honors student in the last cycle, or maybe 2 cycles, I can't remember, you will know how this works. But for those of you who are here for the first time, your Turnitin report, you will submit your assignment draft and get a Turnitin report. Let's say you want to make some changes, you finalize your assignment, you submit. That final Turnitin report that you see is not the actual final one, because once the submission closes, once the portal closes, Turnitin does a round robin check in the class itself, because if Turnitin just checks the individual assignments, then they can't see when there is similarity between assignments of the group. So what usually happens is you will see one Turnitin report when you submit, and then the next day or 2 days later when you check what's going on my UNISA, or am I not sure it's been submitted, your Turnitin percentage will look different. It's usually a bit higher, because then everybody has the same declaration, everybody has the same or similar table of contents. If you all referenced your sources correctly, technically correctly, then they will also be flagged as similar. So that doesn't matter. Those things that doesn't matter. But that round robin round is there so that if you did content-wise work in groups or copied someone's assignment, then you will get in trouble for it. But don't worry, that percentage changes afterwards. It will. And then you won't be able to do anything about it after the due date, of course. So make sure your personal things are correct, and then you don't have to worry if your percentage goes up a bit, because it will be because of that front and back matter that is very similar for most of your assignments. All right, then. For the examination, as I said, it's not in our hands, it's in university policy that we cannot give any extension. Sorry, let me just kill this. I thought I did put it on silent. For the examination portfolio, it's in the policy of the university that we may not give extensions. It's because you must imagine it to yourself as a sit-down examination. If that sit-down session has started or ended and you haven't arrived, you have not been there. So there's nothing to do when you miss the assignment, the examination portfolio deadline. Because we have no second opportunity. So that is a very fixed and important thing that you must make certain of. Of course, what we do consider is those very serious matters. If you've been booked off sick, or if you had a death in the family, close relative, then those type of things can be brought to our attention, but you will know these things before the due date. So if you contact me before the examination due date with an illness, then it's something we might be able to arrange but it's a lot of administration on this side, because that's to be approved and so on. So normally take it as no extensions possible, because that is basically the truth, unless there's a very rare circumstance. Then in assignment, the extensions of assignments can be considered under certain circumstances. That is a little bit more in our control. But what here is maybe fortunate, maybe unfortunate, depending on how you see yourself. It is about being fair to everybody. So those little rules on the bottom, you can't, well, you can see them. Those are basically how I make decisions about accepting a late assignment or not. In the first place, it's about being fair. It's a big group of people, and if I give you an extension for a reason that can count for 20 other people, then because 20 extensions is not possible for us to handle, because we are sending our marking off to external markers, we are moderating, we are sending it to external moderators. It is a big process on our side. So receiving a late assignment is not only unfair to the rest of the class, but it's impossible for us to handle a lot. That is why we can't do something that is not fair towards the rest of you. And that is also a consolation to those who did submit on time, that that people who have not done their part, who's not done their work, will not get it slip in while you had to obey by the rules. So if you can see that as the basis. And then what I expect of you, if there is something to do with your assignment deadline, is that you are proactive and that you take responsibility for what is going on. You are senior students, that is anyway what we expect. But if you are busy with assignment 1, because now also it doesn't matter, the deadline itself is only 1 day, right? You couldn't have, there's no possible way you can finish this assignment in 1 day. So if your computer breaks like 5 minutes before 8 o'clock, I will struggle to believe it, because that is so it will be such a bad coincidence that it's almost unbelievable. But if you're having computer trouble, let's say 5 days before the assignment, your computer breaks, and oh, maybe things are not going to go right for me here, or your child falls ill, or something happens in your life, like maybe you just started a new job and you are swamped, or whatever. If it's not an official excuse like an illness or a doctor's note or a death certificate that you can actually prove that you were unable to do your work. If it is something else that goes out of your control, you must be proactive, because I can it's much easier for me to hear your story 5 days before the deadline and then make an arrangement with you than hearing it after the deadline, because it's so much more difficult to believe you if you let the deadline go without talking. Because most of the time our illnesses or our family stuff, or it doesn't disable us to the point where we cannot just send an email and sort it out. So I expect you to be proactive about all things, and in the build up to an assignment, contact me if you see a problem coming. Then you must be able to provide proof or backup of your story, especially if you are ill and you are booked off, that is your proof. If you are going to a funeral of a close family member, that will be, I'm not sure who counts exactly. I think it's just your immediate siblings and your parents or children. That's, I don't know exactly what the policy says, but the UNISA policy will be on my studies at UNISA, on that like booklet website vibe where all the important information is. If it's one of those official reasons, that is your proof. But if it is a story of my computer broke or something else happened, or I couldn't get online, or I lost my access or whatever, I need you to provide me proof, whatever that may mean. Let's say you are clicking and clicking on the submit button and nothing is happening. You take a screenshot of that screen where I can see the date and time on which you've been trying. There I want to see the error message or whatever. Do that part, like provide me with some proof of what you are saying. Because if you've been clicking the submit button after 8 o'clock on assignment 1 due date, then it's not much of a story, then you were just too late. But if you were trying to submit 2 days before and there's something wrong on my UNISA side, which is possible, but then you need to have that proof in your hand. So take a screenshot, take a picture, capture whatever is happening. If you've been, let's say, in a vehicle accident, and I don't know what can happen, what all the things that can happen to one, show me the insurance claim or the police report or whatever, that I can know that your story is true. And then you have to do your bit. It's not fair to everyone if you can come 2 days before the time unprepared, you haven't started working. If I ask you 2 days before the time, if you come with your story, let's say my computer is broken, and I ask you, right, get access to a computer and just send me the draft that you were on this day, where I want to see where you are progressing, where you progressed up until your computer gave in or whatever. So you must keep your backups. You must be able to provide a draft of your work, even if it's not your final one. But if something happened, you already started your work, but it's not final or something, then provide, like, you must do your part. So you can't come with no good reason for wanting an extension, even if you come before the time. And then extensions are also bound to what they arise from. If you are booked off for 2 days and those are the final 2 days before it's the assignment due date and the one before, you will get 1 day extension. You can't wait a week, then present me with an illness certificate for a week ago for only 1 day off. That, so the math must be mathing. So keep that in mind. Like, I am open to talk about things that happen in life. I know things are happening to me in life every now and again that I really, if there could just be one little exception, just this, because this is just something out of my control. You don't have to be scared to contact me about those, but I will make my decision based on these house rules that I believe is fair to everyone. All right, now I've probably talked too long. Now we have 10 minutes for the rest. All right, library. You have this information in your tutorial letters, both 301 and 101. But the online library is super valuable. As you know, your recommended books should all be there. So the library homepage I've linked there if you didn't read it in the 101 or haven't been there yet. And then we also have a communication science lib guide that is kind of a little part of the library that is managed just for us. And there you will also find contact of Miss Napai. She is our department's librarian. She's like the librarian for a number of departments. But if you struggle with something library-wise, like getting access to an ebook that it looks like you should have access, but now whatever, that ProQuest is not loading, whatever, you can contact her. And if you are looking for resources outside the ones we give you, which might happen in assignments to come, not in assignment 1 necessarily, then she can also advise you on how to search for good academic sources. If you feel like if you do your own search on Google Scholar or whatever, you always lose marks because it's always the wrong thing or whatever, and you need a little bit of advice on how to pick good resources, you can ask her for advice. Remember, she is not at your service. She's helping all the researchers, all the postgraduate students of multiple departments. So she can't be sent around on errands. We are not her boss, but she's a very valuable human to make contact with regarding library related issues. Then Turnitin and academic integrity. Now, this is sensitive at the moment, and things are a little bit changing as we go because we are having trouble with AI. And the way we can detect AI and mark it is in a gray area. The policy is still being worked out. So UNISA is changing the way we work, but the change is happening right now. So there's a new declaration this year. So if you were a student last year, even if you know the AI declaration of last year, there is a new one this year. So please go and see that under additional resources. There's new general guidelines for academic integrity, Turnitin, and so on that I shared on my UNISA, that you probably get shared from your other lecturers as well. That is important information for you, but you must also keep an eye out for changes in this regard, because it is possible that a certain policy comes into effect and we have to act on it. What the rules that are on the penalties that are on the screen now is as of now, but it might change. And I'm honest in saying that, but I guess for assignment 1, if this is still the same by assignment 1 brief, I think we can accept it for assignment 1. But please don't, if you've been a UNISA student before, don't think you know everything about these rules, because there's new information. So, all right, so if you don't have a new declaration included in your assignment, you lose 10 marks just for not being up to date. Then if your AI writing score, now you can't see your AI writing score, so you won't know what it is, but you will know if you used AI to generate writing for you. If that score is 80% or higher, and that is the highest margin you can possibly imagine, there cannot be an 80% AI score if you used AI in an acceptable way. You will lose 20% and you'll get a warning, because like that generative AI sits on the ethical issue side of academia. So you might only lose 20% on an assignment, but you'll get a warning to say that if this happens again, you will go to a disciplinary hearing, because you are overstepping an ethical boundary of the university, or well, of the country even, with copyright law declaring work as your own and it not being your own, that type of thing. So that penalty and the importance of the matter is not quite on par, but that is where we are at the moment. Then you can see your similarity reports as always turned in. The turned in reports are interpreted on a content report by report basis. So we can't give you a similarity percentage that is acceptable or not acceptable, because it depends on what that similarity is from. Longer assignments you have more content and less front and back matter. So then your percentage might look a little bit smaller, where the person next to you might have a shorter assignment, and then their front and back matter is a bigger proportion of the total assignment. And then, so the thing, you can't trust the percentage alone. We look at the content of the report. The only percentage guideline we have for you is that you must make sure that your similarity report does not have 5% or more from a single source, because that 5% mark is a generally tested a percentage for where it's over any acceptable type of standard. So make sure that 5% is adhered to. Then if there is, and then you'll get a penalty then based on the severity of your Turnitin issues. In the assignment 1 prep, I'll tell you more about that specifics, but that's how we work here, is we interpret every report. Then if you are found to have done anything to try and cheat Turnitin, like if you added hidden characters, or if you added extra pages and then cleared them out, or whatever, there's so many ways to crook Turnitin. If you are found out for having cheated in any way to circumvent Turnitin being able to accurately detect similarities between your work and the work of others, you'll get a 50% penalty right from the start. You will get 0 for your assignment if you don't accept the EULA agreement that is on, as you submit your assignment, there's the EULA agreement. If you didn't accept that, you'll get a 0 for your assignment. And then if you submit a scanned or an unreadable document, like it is a PDF, but you made it out of images or whatever, to get away from Turnitin, that's usually why people would do that, because technology is so good at the moment that there's no reason for you to have a PDF printed out, scan it back in, other than to cheat. That's usually what we see it as. So you will get a minus 20% if your Turnitin report doesn't become available because your document submission was a wrong format. Minus 20%, and that is if you can provide me with a readable version immediately. So please make sure that you don't try and cheat Turnitin. All right, I'm almost finished. Let's get, this is very quick. I think I'm not going to say much about it. Those say 1%, because we can't on the system, doesn't allow us to give a 0. So it's basically a 0. If you have no list of references, if you have no in-text referencing, 1% for your total assignment. If you have no list of sources consulted, you'll get 1% for your total assignment. If you have sporadic referencing, that will be penalized based on the severity. But normally we see less than 5 sources referenced in text. Less than 5 gets you to a 1% as well. And then any incorrect handling of source material will be penalized depending on the severity. I'll explain more about that once we do the assignment 1 prep, just to save a little bit of time today. That incorrect handling of source material is a term I use for source-related mistakes that is not necessarily covered by other criteria, technical criteria. And then the reasoning behind those rules, you can go and read that list, but basically we do these penalizations not just because we want to penalize you. It is important stuff that you can, if you get an academic, or if you get an honors degree, it's important that you can work with information correctly. So we have reasons why we give penalizations. It's not just to be difficult. So yes, that's it. I think the whole hour is finished now. I don't know, because I have been seeing only my presentation and not the chat, I will answer, even if we close the session now, because we are now an hour and I don't want you to stay longer. But if you ask the question in the chat, I will answer it like in the next hour or so. So you can keep an eye on like the chat. You can go, if you open that meeting on Teams again, you can enter the chat so you can get the answer that I gave from there. Or if you had a question today that's something that I haven't covered, you can send me an email as well. It's just the timing is a little bit weird because I'm going on leave as of tomorrow until and then I'll be back on the 20th of April. So I might be able to answer you this afternoon, but maybe not. But I will attend to the things that you have said in the chat, because I now filled the whole hour with just me speaking and not taking questions. So just keep an eye on the chat. If you have a question there, I'll get back to you. All right. I'm so thankful for you joining. It's such a weird time of the year, beginning of April. Easter is so early this year that it's like teaching should have like officially started on the 1st of April. And then it was immediately a long weekend. So it's a little bit of weird timing, and I'm glad that so many of you could attend live today. I'm so happy for those who dropped in and out as they could. And I will make the recording available as soon as possible. If it's not possible before tomorrow, then it will be in the week of the 20th. So before we do the assignment 1 prep, this video will be available to you. I'm going to try and do it today, but I'm scared to make too many promises. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I look forward. I love this module. I love research, and I'm looking forward to this module and the year ahead of us. And I hope you are too. All the best, everyone, and goodbye from my side. I'm going to stop the recording and go away myself.